Howdy, howdy. Welcome on in to the pre-show before the free show. And as some people have said, yes, we are back live today. I wonder how they could tell yesterday.
Well, look, you are no longer Big Tuna. From henceforth, you shall be known as Big Haircut. Look at you, Big Haircut.
Big haircut, yeah.
I think we left the studio door open. Things are going great. Yeah, we're here. We're doing a show. It is a time and a date, and we're live. Maybe. What if we weren't? What if we're not? Anyway,
They'll never know.
They'll never know. I want to explore a new the next installment in a series here on Texas Football Today that we've entitled "Pickle Does Normal Girl Things and Talks About It."
Yeah.
Because you told me something rather shocking yesterday. You told me yesterday you had some errands to run, and one of those errands that you had to run was you had to go get your hair. Your hair did.
Yes,
Get
I
your
did.
Hair did. And then you revealed something shocking to me.
Yeah.
Go ahead and reveal it to the audience now.
This was my first time ever having my hair, like, professionally cut. Like, at a salon. Like, professionally done. It's the first time anyone has ever, like, lightened my hair. And it hasn't been me.
So, like, normally, what's, like, your hair situation is like?
Great Clips McGee over here. I just go get it cut.
Okay, so this is your first fancy haircut.
This is my first fancy haircut.
This is your first big city haircut.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
that's the way to put it. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't sit there and take clippers to it myself and go get it cut. Like, but I would go to, like, whatever was closest, a Super Cuts or a Super Clips or a Great Clips or whatever. You know, you get, like, the $6.99 little hair coupons and just walk up and do it.
Wow.
Yeah. No, I got big city girl hair now.
Now, look, I'm not one to talk. I graduated from Fantastic Sam's not that long ago, maybe like 3 years ago, where I just realized, you know what, I'm old enough. I deserve this. And by deserve this, I mean, I guess I can go to a nicer place to get a haircut. And so now it's like a whole deal.
Well, I kind of have a slight reasoning behind it.
Okay.
I always told myself
You're on TV.
Once I secured big girl on TV job, I would start going. In college, what was the point? Like, there just wasn't much.
You were on TV in college, kind of.
Yeah, but it was whatever. You know,
Wow.
I'm spending money on, like, groceries and stuff. I was interning places. I wasn't just rolling in dough.
What you're saying is that now that you are rich.
Right, yes. Now that, I'm top earner in this office here, clearly.
Big earner.
No, but I was like, okay, once I get, like, secured big girl job, I know I'm going to be on, like, actual people can see me on TV, then I'm going to do it. Well, that kind of happened, and then, like, right when I was going to do it, the world shut down. So I really wasn't getting my hair cut anyway.
Yeah, so we're in the for those who don't know, we're working on the 2021 summer edition, Dave Campbell's Texas Football. That's why we all look so tired. And and normally the day after we send a magazine, or send the magazine in person, or one of the days after, like the week after, I take a day off and I go get a haircut and I go see a movie by myself. Because that's how I like to spend my time. It's how I like to party. Yeah. And that was the real shame last year, was that last year the magazine ended and it was just like, oh, well, I guess I'll just have long hair still. That's about it. Can you turn off my microphone for a second?
Yeah.
Hey, Mallory! Can you close the studio door?
Things are going great. I wish I had a camera.
I'm doing a show, so I can't do it right now. Thank you, Mallory.
She looked terrible. I just think that she's great because she already looks done with your crap.
Solutions. I think in solutions. I don't think in problems. Okay, that's fine. That's all I'm getting at.
Oh, that was great. You know, good stuff. But anyway, yes, now that we're I'm double shotted. I've secured big girl job. I figured it was time for me to get my get my crap together.
Wow.
So here we are.
I just my wife found.
I almost cried yesterday.
My wife found it shocking. Not shocking. She found it surprising that you are on television.
Yeah.
But then at the same time,
Ish said that too.
But at the same time,
I'm out in the elements.
We are true. We are. You and my wife are the two women in my life that I interact with most.
Yes, that's fair to say.
And you could not be more different.
Right.
My wife is she's a girly girl. She danced in high school and all that fun stuff, and she's a teacher, and she's into the cutesy stuff and all that fun stuff. She is a girly girl, and you are on a different part of that spectrum, is what I'm saying. From personality
like North
perspective.
Pole, South Pole.
I'm just saying that they're very different, and so she found it surprising, but me knowing you, I was like, oh, I guess that tracks.
No, it sounds about. Well, like I said, like in the past 2 months or past month, I've gotten a pedicure really for the first time, and my hair did. So like,
moving up in the world.
I'm trying this girl thing out. I kind of do it and then go right back to broing, but
let's see how it goes. All right, hit the theme expo. Let's go! Free money! Free
How to sing the blues, baby. Shot glass in your hand.
Yes, y'all. From the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Mothership here in beautiful Lewisville, Texas, it is Texas Football Today, a show with a firmly secured studio door. My name is Greg Tepper. I am the managing editor of Dave Campbell's Texas Football magazine, TexasFootball.com. Corresponding website, thank you for spending part of your day with us, whether you're watching us live at TexasFootball.com or on Facebook, or you're listening to us on the podcast, which you can subscribe to on the podcast vendor of your choice. Either way, thank you for doing your part to support your local mediocre internet show. I'm sitting over there in the pickle jar, making us sound good. She is the Duchess of the Dorks. She is Ashley Pickle. Hello, Ashley Pickle.
Howdy.
Welcome into the Thursday show. I was talking more to the audience than you, but you can respond to that as well.
We only did one Bear Shirt Thursday, and then it never came back.
Do you want to make tomorrow Bear Shirt Thursday?
Yeah. No.
I guess next week.
I could wear a bear shirt underneath my Hawaiian. Whoa.
That's
some next level.
Do you want to do
hype
next Thursday? You want me to put on my calendar? It can be Bear Shirt Thursday?
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone hold it.
But when you say it, you have to do it.
Everybody on Wednesday in the comments, remind us to wear bear shirts on Thursday.
It's like to say, when you said it the last time, though, you said it very aggressively. Like, it can't just be Bear Shirt Thursday. It's Bear Shirt Thursday.
It's Bear Shirt Thursday. We will have Bear Shirt Thursday next Thursday, but this is a much bigger Thursday. Today is Thursday, May 6th, 2021. 203 days till Thanksgiving. Episode 1160, 1160. I think it's 1160. Is that right? Maybe.
Yes.
Okay. This is the Clyde Wright episode.
Thanks,
On
Clyde.
today's show, my friends, massive show. Huge show.
Yeah.
Giant show.
Big time.
First and foremost, we're going to preview the big stinking college football game on Saturday. The national semifinal between the Sam Houston Bearcats and those dastardly James Madison Dukes. I don't mean that. They're probably not dastardly. They seem pretty nice, but
But we're full-blown Texan right now.
For the purposes of this preview, they are dastardly. So we will talk about that and the keys to victory for Sam Houston. And then back half of the show, courtesy of our friends at the North Texas Honda Dealers, we've got a big-time guest. We'll be joined by the new head coach of the Allen Eagles. Coach Chad Morris will be joining us to talk about his move to Allen and what he has in store for the Eagles there. Excited to talk to Coach Morris, friend of Dave Campbell's Texas Football, and newly minted Texas High School Football Hall of Famer.
Yeah. There's a video up on our YouTube about that. There's a bunch of Hall of Fame videos if you haven't seen them.
So we will talk to
Shout
Coach
out,
Chad Morris of Allen coming up here in the back half of the program. If you stay tuned, they'll come down about 12:15. Do we have first four through the door?
We sure do. It was Daniel Agnew, Aaron Flynn, Rob Hadaway, and Miss Terry Adams. Welcome in, fellas and lady fella.
Okie dokie. So, a lot to get to today. we're going to start with big game on Saturday.
Put the Sam Houston logo because this is a Sam Houston podcast today.
Of course. Saturday, 1:30 p.m. 2:30 Eastern,
Yes.
1:30 God's time zone. At Bauer Stadium in Huntsville, it will be James Madison taking on Sam Houston in the national semifinal. The James Madison Dukes. They're coming for a fight, and so they're going to put up their fists for this.
Boo.
So let's talk a little bit about James Madison. And give you a feel for where they're coming from. This is a team that there's many people believe is the finest team in America, and I think that they are. I think that they are within their rights to at least. I don't want to say think that, but I think that there's a fair argument for that. That James Madison's the best team in the country.
This point, yeah.
They're undefeated, 7-0. They have looked the part, and this is a team that does everything really well. They don't have a noticeable flaw in their team.
No.
They are really well-rounded. They are really solid across the board. Whereas last week, even with the looming specter that is North Dakota State and how good they are and just the dominance that they've exhibited over the course of the last decade, even with that, you could point out from the outset some flaws with North Dakota State, specifically at quarterback.
They were missing their all-star.
Specifically at quarterback, and then also just generally speaking, the offense was meh.
They needed the quarterback. They needed their all-star quarterback to make that offense go.
They were a Trey Lance away from being a juggernaut.
Yes,
is what they were.
Absolutely.
Fundamentally, they were an elite quarterback away from being their normal juggernaut self. That's not necessarily the case with James Madison. But let's start with this. First and foremost, when you take a look at what James Madison does well, they are a team that they run the ball really well. They run the ball extremely well, and they've got a couple of running backs that are really exceptional. The guy whose name you're going to hear a lot of is Percy Agaye Obase, I believe is how you pronounce it. But they've got him and Juwan Hamilton in the backfield, and they are a team that likes to use what is maybe the best offensive line in FCS college football and grind it out on the ground and control the clock and control the pace of play and dictate the terms of the game. And they do that through running the ball. This is a team that is exceptionally savvy at getting into third and manageable, and as a result, they convert 51% of their third downs.
And I
That's
don't know
ninth
how
in the
that
country.
bodes for
That's ninth in the country.
for Sam Houston.
And you saw last week against South Dakota State, especially on that final drive.
North Dakota State.
North Dakota State. You saw on that final drive that North Dakota State had. Sam Houston had some trouble getting some stops on third down, getting them off the field. It is going to be absolutely imperative to win on first and second down, get them into third and uncomfortable. Now, the other thing is, last week we talked about how with North Dakota State they were minus a quarterback. That is not the case with James Madison.
No.
They have a quarterback that I would say is solid.
Yeah.
In Cole Johnson, he was very good last week against North Dakota. He is solid.
He's all reliable.
Yes, that's exactly what he is. He can make the throws that you need. He can come up with the plays that you need. And he is the guy who,
slow and steady.
when you call on him, I don't think he's not their best player.
No.
But what he is a very effective operator of the offense. And so they can beat you in a lot of different ways. And by the way, one thing where they make a lot of hay. One of the ways they make a lot of hay. That rhymes.
Words.
I know. One of the ways that they make a lot of hay is they will hit you over the top. They will pull it back in play action, and they will drop some deep shots on you.
Yep.
That if you load up because you need to stop the running game, and you do, if you load up, they're going to go over the top. And they've got a couple of guys, most notably Antoine Wells Jr., the freshman, who is their stud, and he's a stud. And so they've got that deep threat ability. Okay? Let's talk a little bit about the defense. The defense is usually the calling card for James Madison, and no difference this year. They're 4th in the nation in total defense. This defense is ferocious, and what's funny about them is that this is a defense that probably shouldn't be as good as it
on
as
paper.
It
doesn't look like just superstar after superstar.
They got one guy, Mike Green, their defensive lineman, who was one of the he was up for the Buck Buchanan Award, which is the top defensive player in the FCS, and he's a star. Okay, he's a star. But this was a team that last year they graduated a pair of All-American defensive ends. Then during fall practice, so getting ready for the spring season, they lost 2 more defensive ends to knee injuries.
Yeah.
This is the team that, from the outset, you could have said, I don't know, like they just may not have the bullets in the chamber, but the fact that their defense has been able to step up in such a big way is very, very impressive, quite frankly. It's really impressive the way that they've been able to do that. And one thing that I think is particularly interesting is that this is a team that they are very strong against the run. They are 3rd in the nation against the run, and so it is going to be. This is going to be a tough challenge for Sam Houston. So when you take a look at the path to victory for Sam Houston, now first and foremost, I've gone on for about 5 minutes here on a diatribe telling you how great James Madison is. I think Sam Houston's got a great shot to win this game. They are underdogs. They are home dogs. They're catching 1.5. They're home dogs. But I think that this is a true coin flip-ish type game. If special teams does not make the mistakes that they made last week. First and foremost, let's clean up the special teams.
That is number one, because I don't think that you're getting the same grace period that you did with North Dakota State if you do those same
their offense,
goofy mistakes.
If you make dumb mistakes, like Sam Houston did last week,
James Madison will capitalize.
They'll run away and hide. They're better. They're better than North Dakota State. I am comfortable saying that. And so, I think a lot of this comes down to a couple of things for Sam Houston. I think a lot of this game is going to be one where you've got an elite defensive line for Sam Houston going up against an elite offensive line up front. Joseph Wallace for Sam Houston leading the way up against this really, really good offensive line for James Madison. Who wins there? That's a big question, and we don't know. If Sam Houston can get some push, if Sam Houston can get in the backfield, if Sam Houston can make the quarterback uncomfortable, if they can do things like that, they're in business. Yeah, they're in business.
Shake up old reliable a little bit is the key.
And get them into 3rd and 6. Get them into 3rd and 7. Get them into 3rd and long. Don't make it 3rd and 2 where the entire playbook is open to them. Right. I think first down is critical in this game. They've got to make sure that they are keeping it. They've got to make sure that they're getting them into to long down and distance conversions and getting them off the field when they have the opportunity. Look, I think the other part of it, plain and simple, is that I think that Sam Houston, as good as the offense has been over the course of the season, it has not been elite in the playoffs. They have been good. They have been pretty good, but they have not been elite. They have got to be firing on all cylinders. Okay, they've got to have. I think it goes without saying that Eric Schmidt's got to be great. Quarterback, I think,
which he typically
surprise,
does.
Surprise! If the best player on the field is not the best player,
then they're probably
not going to play well. I think that's critical, but I think they got to get the running game going. I think they have got to do what they do and go back to what they looked like when they were really jumping onto people's radar and saying that this might be one
scoring
of the best
50 points at
right.
halftime.
I'm not saying they got to score, and they don't have to do that.
No.
But what they got to do is they got to have the reason they were able to do that is they were multiple threats. Last week against North Dakota State, a lot of it came down to, can Eric Schmidt make a play or can he not?
Right.
And they're going to need some balance. They're going to need some running game to get a push and take a little bit of the pressure off Eric Schmidt and be a little bit more balanced.
I think that the DB staying awake. I think that you hit the nail on the head earlier. I think that might be what
action.
it comes down to, is those DBs staying awake.
Right. So this is a and look, I don't think there's any doubt that this is the toughest game that Sam Houston has played. I mean, let's not forget that in the final FCS poll, James Madison was number 1.
Mm-hmm.
They got a number 3 seed from the committee, which is a choice, which is why the game is in Huntsville. Well, it's why they're playing them to begin with.
Right.
I mean, if they were the number 1 seed, then they'd be on the other side of the bracket.
And the crowd was out last week, so take advantage of that.
Right. As a result, this game I think is going to be fascinating. Obviously, a chance to play for a national title is on the line.
Go Bearcats.
I'm a homer. I think the Bearcats find a way. I think KC Keeler finds a way to get past them. But this is a huge, huge test. If you thought, like, in a lot of ways, it kind of reminds me, and this is an imperfect analogy, but what it reminds me of is if you remember the Miracle on Ice.
Mm-hmm.
The Miracle on Ice was the United States beating the Soviets in the 1980 Olympics. And it was a huge deal, and there were big celebrations, huge upset, blah, 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 everybody going nuts, right?
Yeah.
Everybody going nuts. That was the semifinal.
Yep.
That was not the gold medal game.
Yep.
And so, in a lot of ways, this reminds me of that if you're resting on your laurels from last week, you're going to be in trouble.
Yep.
This is a really good James Madison team. Sam Houston needs to be prepared. They need to be fundamentally sound in all 3 phases of the game. If they are, they got a great chance to play for a national title next week. So I'm excited to see it. It's 1:30 p.m. God's time zone. That's
on
Central
ABC,
time.
you said,
on
right?
ABC,
Look
the
at
American
that.
Broadcasting Corporation.
The big
So
boys.
Make sure you tune in. We are Texas Football Today. We're here every weekday at noon on TexasFootball.com, talking football in the Lone Star State. You can follow us on Twitter at DCTF, like us on Facebook, Facebook.com/Dave Campbell's. Follow us on Instagram, Instagram.com/Dave Campbell's, and of course, see us at TexasFootball.com. TexasFootball.com is where you can find complete coverage of high school football, college football, and recruiting all across the Lone Star State. Want to invite you to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe. That is our subscription package. 2 magazines and a year's worth of exclusive online content at TexasFootball.com/subscribe. If you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe, you get the 2021 summer edition of Dave Campbell's Texas Football mailed to you before it hits newsstands. And we're working hard on that. We're going through that. So TexasFootball.com/subscribe. If you are outside the state and you are looking to get the magazine, the only way to get it is to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider at TexasFootball.com/subscribe. So if you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe, we will mail the magazine to you before it hits newsstands. You also get great online content, including premium podcasts like Tep and Step. That's Matt Stepp and I going on and on and on about all sorts of nonsense. So TexasFootball.com/subscribe to become a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider for a year. Mother's Day is Sunday. I will keep saying that. Mother's Day is Sunday. So give your mom the gift of football if you go to TexasFootball.com/subscribe. So please consider becoming a Dave Campbell's Texas Football Insider. Pickle, this next segment is brought to you by our friends at the North Texas Honda Dealers.
The North Texas Honda Dealers want you to score some great deals on award-winning Hondas. Stop by your helpful Honda dealer today or visit ntxhondadealers.com to learn more.
Pickle, let's go to the hotline. And let's bring in the new head coach of the Allen Eagles. We are joined on the phone line by Coach Chad Morris. Coach, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
Doing excellent. First and foremost, allow me to say, welcome back. We missed you.
Well, I appreciate that. That means a lot. I'm excited to be back. This is where I being a Texas high school football coach, cutting my roots here. This is who I am, and to be able to come back, and especially to a program such as Allen, is really exciting for me and my family, and looking forward to some great times ahead.
I don't want to put you in a precarious position of anything, but I am interested in the process behind you getting the job there at Allen, and how this all came about. Can you give us a little bit of insight into how it came about of you landing there at Allen High?
Yeah, with everything that being at Auburn this past year, and with them deciding they wanted to get rid of Coach Malzahn, and obviously when that happens, the staff usually is the next to follow, which is what happened. And we had great time at Auburn, and but it was a short time. Came back at that point in January, and really just didn't, to be honest with you, didn't know if I was going to get back in it or not. With what happened at Arkansas, and then back-to-back years with Auburn, and just kind of thought, you know what, I'm going to step back and I'm going to kind of reevaluate things and see what's next. And you know, talking with my wife and everything, there was just something missing. You know, we got a farm in East Texas that we had kind of resided at. And got about 100 head of cows and horses, and so we were enjoying just kind of being on our farm. But when this job opened up, I always said that the only way I would get back into high school coaching is it had to be the right situation and a program that was elite. And you know, leaving my last high school stop was Lake Travis, and so when the Allen job opened up, it really enticed us both, and I was very intrigued with it all. And so I looked at Paula one night. It was about 10 o'clock. We were sitting there watching TV, and I'd known Coach Gamble for a long, long time, and I shot him a text and said, "Man, best of luck in retirement." And at that point, I looked at Paula and I said, "You know, what about Allen? What do you think?" And then we just kind of made this small talk, and that was it. And then the process kind of started, and away I went. And it happened fairly fast.
Let me play a little bit of devil's advocate here for you, Coach. There'll be some people who say, you know, this is a guy who is an SEC head coach. He was an SEC offensive coordinator. He's a successful coach at SMU. Why take a step back into high school, a quote unquote step back into high school? What would be your response to something like that?
Yeah, no, and that's a great question, and I've had that question asked to me several times, and it's real simple. My son is now at TCU. My daughter is the director of on-campus recruiting at North Texas. We have sacrificed a whole lot. They've sacrificed a lot for me to travel all over the country, from Clemson, Tulsa to Clemson, to Auburn, and we've missed a lot. I've missed a lot, and you know, as I mentioned earlier, I didn't know if I was even going to get back in it. College football is a grind. Mm-hmm. College football is a huge, not that high school isn't, but it's a huge time commitment. And I want to be able to watch my son play, and I'm not going to miss a game with him playing on Saturdays. So that's the number one reason why we chose to do this and be back closer to our family and have a more of a quality of life as far as a time standpoint.
We're talking with Chad Morris, the new head coach of the Allen Eagles here on Texas Football Today, presented by our friends at the North Texas Honda Dealers. Coach, when you talked with your new squad there at Allen and addressed them for the first time as head coach, what was your message to them?
Well, I think talking with our players as well as talking with our parents is that I'm probably a little bit more unique than any other head coach that's out there, because I have sat in the head coaching seat as a high school head coach at a big program before. I have sat in the seat of a major Division I college football program. I've sat in the seat of an offensive coordinator college football program, and I've also been a dad to a Division I recruited athlete that's now playing Division I college football. So there's nothing that these players are going to go through that I haven't already gone through as a dad, a coach, or a coordinator. And so I'm able to help them walk this fine line of becoming a recruitable athlete or a recruitable son to the dads that are out there. So that was my message. And, you know, the credibility that'll bring to help these young men out is something I look forward to having.
You've made some moves as well as far as your staff is concerned. One that really caught our eye was bringing in a defensive coordinator, and that would be David Branscombe, bringing him in. He was a former head coach at San Antonio Brandeis. What drew you to Coach Branscombe? And, I mean, plain and simple, why is he on your staff?
Well, I think, first of all, you know, with the tradition here at Allen, with the staff, the winning that these guys have had, they've had some tremendous coaches that have come through Allen. Anytime there's change, it's always tough. Guys have got to get people in place, and you know, I always talk about getting everybody on the right seat of the bus, and so part of that was hiring, you know, your coordinators and getting them in place, and bringing David in. David came very well known, very knowledgeable. Is really similar to what we did at Lake Travis defensively with Coach Carter. So I'm excited about David. David brings a wealth of knowledge. He also brings a guy that's been a head coach that will help the transition with me going back from college back into high school. I've been out 10 years, and so there's some change that's happened. There's been some things that have gone on along the way that I'm going to need help transitioning back into that high school mindset. And so he's allowed and is going to be able to help me in not just a defense coordinator capacity. He'll help us with special teams, but also as a head coach.
And finally, Coach, I want to ask you about something that happened this past weekend, and that was that you were inducted into the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame with the Eddie Joseph Texas High School Football Hall of Fame Coach Award there. I'm not going to ask you to give your whole acceptance speech again, but what did it mean for you to be inducted into the Texas High School Football Hall of Fame?
Well, to be real honest with you, as I got there Saturday, I found out, a year ago, but to get there and go through the ceremony, walk around the Texas Sports Hall of Fame, and look at the coaches that have been inducted into this, it's really flattering, really humbling experience because you sit there and you look and you're like, wow, I don't deserve to be in this category of coaches. But it's such a great honor, a tremendous, tremendous honor. I take great pride in being a high school coach, and more importantly, I take great pride in being a Texas high school coach. To be able to be inducted in it, with my family there, with my son, the career that he had in high school, and just to know that they'll be able to bring their kids and grandkids back and go, hey, you know what, your dad's in this, or your granddad's been inducted in this Hall of Fame. Very special, flattering, and just very thankful.
He's Chad Morris. He's the new head coach of the Allen Eagles. Follow him on Twitter at Coach Chad Morris. Coach, really appreciate your time. Congratulations again on the new gig, and best of luck going forward.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you all.
There he goes. Chad Morris, head coach, the Allen Eagles, joining us here on Texas Football Today, courtesy of our friends at the North Texas Honda Dealers, our helpful North Texas Honda Dealers. Great dude, longtime friend of Dave Campbell's, Texas football guy we've known here for a while. I don't know if I can tell this story.
If you don't know, you probably shouldn't.
So when he was the head coach, I'll just tell him. So when he was the head coach at Arkansas,
yes,
his son Chandler was the head coach, or was the quarterback at Highland.
He was not the head coach.
No,
Randy said no.
He was the quarterback at Highland Park.
Yes.
Okay. I was there for what was then Fox, now Bally Sports Southwest, doing the state championship stuff. Mm-hmm. And
for the state championship.
Yeah, and I'm just walking around. I see a guy in like a hoodie and a hat. And I'm like,
I recognize that face.
I know who that is. It was Coach Morris. It's Chad Morris. And I think the idea was it was a little bit nebulous as to whether or not he could be there. Like, he's a dad, you know what I mean? Like,
right.
It could be like he was trying to keep, and I'm just blowing up his spot. He was trying to keep as low a profile as possible, and
Absolutely.
not like, just because I think it was I know it was okay for him to be there,
right.
But I think he didn't want to like make a big deal out of it.
He doesn't want to end up on Fox Sports Southwest at the time going, oh, hey, so college coach is at the Texas High School.
I went over and chatted with him for a minute and stuff like that, and it was just funny to see him trying to be like incognito. It's like, oh, here's an FBS head coach and stuff like that.
And you're a man in suit walking around that stadium, so he's probably going,
get away, dude.
Come on, man.
Run away from here. Anyway, I appreciate Coach Chad Morris hopping on with us to be our guest here on Texas Football Today. Now we go over to Ashley Pickle for America's second favorite segment. Final thoughts.
Funny comment here from Aaron Flynn. He said that he just saw a youth pastor post from a neighboring church around him that that church is putting Mother's Day cards in a little station in the men's restroom for Sunday in case someone forgot. Shout out to that church, man. Like, wait, that's having a bro's back right there.
That's big brain.
Is that not awesome? Like, every churches around America who are listening to Texas Football Today.
Let me just put it this way. Mother's Day is Sunday. So you need to be preparing now. Whatever that is, if it's putting a card in the mail, I know you were not to blow up your spot, but you were asking about stamps.
Trish won't be watching this far into the show, so
Yeah.
LP, keep your mouth shut.
You were asking me about stamps.
For
it's
mailing
like
cards.
yes, it's like so. If you need to do that, today's the day to hop on that.
Yes.
Okay. Mother's Day is Monday or Sunday rather. Don't screw this up.
Well, another thing here for obviously like you live with your mine's different because I don't live with my mom, so I can just mail. That's fine. But you live with your wife, who is mother. So when you go to get her gift,
I don't live with my mom.
No, I know that.
I'm
saying,
a big boy.
what I'm saying is, guys like you who have to buy present for a child who doesn't pay bills.
Yes.
It's better for you to do it now on a day that you're at work and can swing by somewhere on your way home than realizing, oh, it's Saturday. Crap, how am I supposed to get out of going? I got to run to the store real fast,
Yeah.
Like, go get it now on your way
Yes.
to or from work.
Guys, I'm just telling you. If you are thinking, I'll just run to the grocery store on Saturday.
No.
Bad idea.
Because it looks like...
Go today. Tonight, out on the way home from work. It will be this is your last chance because Friday it's going to be a zoo.
Yep.
And Saturday it's going to be a zoo. Go today.
Yep. I made the mistake of going to Walmart the day before Valentine's Day. Not that I was going for Valentine's Day stuff, but the little section that they have was just flooded with men picking up teddy bears, going, "Oh God, which one of this was she gonna like?"
I know, guys. If you got to go now. You got to go now. That's my advice to you. There you go. Keep the mothers in your life happy.
Yes.
That's going to do it for us. Thanks for spending a little bit of your day with us. Follow us on Twitter @DCTF, like us on Facebook, facebook.com/Dave Campbells. Follow us on Instagram, instagram.com/Dave Campbells, and, of course, see us at texasfootball.com. Thanks again to new Allen coach Chad Morris for being our guest. For Ashley Pickle, I'm Greg Tepper. Vince Young, please get your Player of the Year trophy. We'll see you tomorrow. Or will we? We will on Texas Football Today.